Do you like movies with everlasting dread and forever hopelessness? Well, have I got the movie for you? That'll get me under 1500. Hey everybody, what's going on? Today we are going to be talking about a really good movie, but one that is one of the most depressing movies I've ever seen in my life. But it's so good that you still want to sit through it because of the performances and the world and everything. Today we are going to be talking about Viggo Mortensen's The Road. Okay, this movie, I am going to spoil it because I do want to talk about the ending because it involves some of the actors in it. If you've never heard of this movie, if you've never seen this movie, don't look it up on IMDb because I don't want you to see who's in it. Granted, anything you ever pull up nowadays will tell you who's in a movie or whatever, but there's a few actors in this that show up and they're only in it for a small amount of time. But this movie only focuses on mainly just two characters, three if you count our main character's wife in the flashbacks. But there's a few actors in this that just kind of show up for bit parts, and they're really good. And I love seeing actors doing stuff like that, showing up just for a bit part, and it's like, they're this really good actor, and they could have been a main part of a movie, but it's just like, no, I'm just going to be this bit part. What The Road is about is there's been an apocalyptic event, and we have a father and son who we never get their names. We never really get the name of anybody in this, even our main characters and even the main character's wife. They're listed on IMDb as man, woman, boy. Through flashbacks, we see that this man, played by Viggo Mortensen, and this woman, his wife, played by Charlize Theron, they are pregnant during this apocalyptic event, and she dreads on having a child during this. And I don't know if they thought the world was going to get better. Viggo Mortensen's character is very optimistic. He's like, look, she's like, I don't know if I want to bring a child into this. And he's just like, well, this is our family. So they do have their baby. And he gets, I don't know how old the kid is in the movie. He's pretty young. I wouldn't say he's like 5, but I would say under 10. But the story is Viggo Mortensen and his son, played by Cody Smith-McPhee, they're just wandering the area. They're trying to get to the coast. I guess they think if they find the coast, there's going to be some hope there, some people there, or whatever. They don't know what they're going to find. But basically the world is dying. There's hardly any food. There's no animals. All the crops are gone. The trees are dying. So food and everything else is scarce. So of course, this being an apocalyptic world, the everything is, going to hell. People are resorting to cannibalism. They're in gangs, and it's not a good world anymore. So, of course, their trip is wrought with danger. Okay, so that's the basic setup. This movie is, as I mentioned before, one of the most depressing movies I've seen because, we've seen some bleak worlds in movies, and there might be bleaker worlds in movies somewhere, but the world of The Road, you have a character who's trying to stay optimistic for his son, and trying to teach his son optimism in a world where optimism really just doesn't exist anymore. There's no reason to be optimistic. The world is dying. They carry around a gun with 2 bullets, so they can kill themselves. So if say someone wants to take them captive, instead of being assaulted or put into some kind of slavery or eaten, they can just end it and not have to feel that pain. And in the flashbacks, Charlize Theron, before, and then, again, I'm talking spoilers here again, before she leaves, she she says, "Why don't you just let me take the boy with me? That way he doesn't have to grow up in this world." And Viggo Mortensen won't let her do it. But as they're on their quest, he's trying to, he's always teaching his son, be the good guy, carry that fire in your heart, right? Be the good guy, don't be the bad guy. But as this trip keeps going and more bad things happen, Viggo Mortensen's character starts to change, and you can tell that he's getting more and more tired, more and more. He's becoming more and more like the others in this world. And his son is really trying to keep him from doing that. And his son has to learn some harsh lessons by watching people die, watching people starve, watching what people will do to survive in this world. They run into some horrendous stuff. There's a scene where they find a locked door. And, of course, locked door means, well, there could be something we need behind there, or it's locked for a reason. And the first one was locked for a reason, and it's very disgusting and creepy what they find, which means the next time they find a locked door, the kid's freaking out, and even though it leads to one of the only happy moments in this movie. So this quest is just, it's so hard to watch because you just know they're struggling, and the dad is just going, he's getting more and more just off. And also, through narration, and plus he's coughing a lot the entire time. It starts off as a little, and eventually he's coughing blood. The father's dying, and he knows it. So he's trying to get his son as far as he can before he dies. Now, does he die? I'll leave that to the end of the video. But along the way, they run into some of these actors I was telling you that are really good that are in this. So now we're talking definitely spoilers. They run into a gang, and all of a sudden it's Garrett Dillahunt. It's like, I love Garrett Dillahunt, right? And I've seen this movie before, but I forgot who was in this because I've only seen it the one time because it depressed me so much that I couldn't watch it until now. I watched it. It was probably shortly after it came out, so maybe it was in 2009 or 2010. So it's like, there's Garrett Dillahunt, awesome, and he's one of the gang members. And again, he's not in it for a long amount of time. They eventually run across an old man who, it takes you a bit to realize it's Robert Duvall. Again, he's awesome in this. And then near the end of the movie, let's just say they get some supplies, and somebody takes those supplies. It ends up being Michael Kenneth Williams playing the thief. Again, barely in the movie, but again, an amazing performance. And then near the end of the movie, they run into a family, and the parents are Guy Pearce and Molly Parker. So it's like, okay, there's some great performances in this for some people that a lot of people love. And I just love seeing those actors show up for these bit roles, and they do amazing in these bit roles. I mean, again, you've got the movie being pushed forward by Viggo Mortensen, and in a lesser state, Cody Smith-McPhee, because, I mean, I don't give too much crap to child actors. He does. It takes a little while for him to warm on you. That being said, you got to remember, this is a kid that grew up in an apocalypse. He didn't know happy life before the apocalypse. He was born in it. There's a great scene where Viggo Mortensen's looking at a vending machine, and he finds a Coke. And he's like, oh my God, I found a Coke. And he knows what it is because, of course, he's had one. But his son had never had one, and he gives it to him. And his son's like, what's this? He's like, it's a treat. And so the son drinks some of it, he belches and he's like, "Whoa, sorry." But then he wants to give some to his dad, and his dad's like, "No, it's for you." He's basically saying, "You've never experienced this. I've had it." But he insists. He's like, "You're my dad, and I'm going to share with you." And his dad does take a drink, but then gives the rest to his son, and you get to see just a tiny bit of hope before the movie takes it away, because the kid drinks it all gone, sets it down, and kicks the can. But then again, the movie just gets depressing right away. And man, that's the thing about this movie. It's a slow burn of a lot of depression. There's very few happy moments, and the thing is, when you've got Viggo Mortensen's character changing as the movie goes, he gets less trusting and paranoid. They find a shelter, and it's a really good shelter. I don't want to spoil that part of the movie, but they find a shelter, but he keeps thinking he hears people and maybe a dog. So they're like, well, we have to leave. And the kid's like, I don't want to leave. This is great shelter. And he's like, we got to go. So anytime they find any bit of happiness or any bit of good luck, it's either wrecked by bad things happening or Viggo Mortensen's character's paranoia. But as the movie goes, again, even the end, and I'm going to talk about the ending here, so again, big spoiler alert. Even the end, even though it's supposed to be hopeful, it's still really a downer. And you're happy for those that are at the end, but still it's like, this world's still terrible, and terrible things still might happen. So that's just hard to watch. But man, look, as depressing as this movie is, the performances are amazing. The flashbacks are not only creepy but well acted. Because again, when you've got Viggo Mortensen and Charlize Theron sharing a scene together, both of them are amazing actors, and they just are perfect together. So you've got great actors, a really dour scene, really dour place to have these characters in. And again, it's a slow burn, but if you like slow burns, it's a really good movie. A really depressing one, but it's a really good movie, and I highly recommend The Road. See you later.